Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of PDPMO. Once again, I am your host, Richard. Thank you for stopping by. Today I'm going to be reviewing the movie Ghostbusters Afterlife, starring Paul Rudd, Carrie Coon, and McKenna Grace, among others, obviously. And yeah, we're just going to jump right into it. I'm going to, again, I know I always say this, but I'm going to give a brief review on whether or not I liked it. And then if you don't want to know any spoilers, feel free to bounce out. Thank you for stopping by. So, did I like Ghostbusters Afterlife? No. I loved it. It was awesome. I can't even begin to describe the feelings I had watching this movie. Before I go any further, not only am I going to be talking about Afterlife, I'm going to be going into the other Ghostbusters movies, all of them, namely Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters 2, and then the, I think it was 2016 female version of Ghostbusters. The issues with certain ones, the strengths of others. And then I'm going to touch on something else to lead to another video going forward. But yeah, Ghostbusters Afterlife, just great. Again, I'm not going to be doing spoilers right now, but if you get a chance, go see this movie. I was in Walmart the other day. It's already out on DVD. I cannot guarantee that you're going to like this movie, but I firmly believe that if you are a fan of the original Ghostbusters, even if you haven't seen this movie, buy it. I think you'll be entertained. So for me, when I was a kid, the original Ghostbusters came out, I believe, 1985. I was a kid and I saw Ghostbusters. I wanted nothing more in my life than to be an adult and be a Ghostbuster. Like, everyone wanted to go out and just like be a Ghostbuster. I watched this movie. This movie is geared more towards the kids as the main stars. And again, I'll get into the spoilers in a bit. At the end of this movie, I wanted so badly to be a kid. Like, I felt like a kid, and I wanted to be a kid Ghostbuster. Like, Jason Reitman, such a great job. So, the director of Ghostbusters. See this movie. I hope you enjoy it. 2 huge thumbs up, 10 stars, the whole thing. Ghostbusters Afterlife, great movie. Okay, so let's get into it. So, again, spoilers. Thank you for stopping by. Talk to you later. So the movie begins with there's a farm. It's night. There's a guy. They don't really show his face, but if you've paid attention to the trailers, you know who this is. And again, spoilers, so you can't get mad at me now. It's Egon Spengler, and he is trying to catch this obviously massive entity, and he is unsuccessful words. Wow. And he dies. Now, the reason why that's not a spoiler is because I don't consider that a spoiler, because if you're paying attention to the trailers at all, you'll know that the people who take over this farm are Egon's descendants. Descendants is too far. Daughter and grandkids. So again, like, is it Egon? Is it not Egon? It's not really confirmed until later in the movie, but once it's confirmed, really a gut punch. I mean, we just saw Egon die. So the mom, played by Carrie Coon, who did just a great job, moves her kids, played by McKenna Grace and Finn Wolfhard, to this house to take over this decrepit, falling apart, um, worthless thing. Sorry, before we get to that, yeah, in the beginning of the movie, uh, I noticed like this vehicle's racing away from this mining site, and the sign on the mining site says Shandor Mining. And I was there with my wife and kids, and everybody in this house loved this movie, by the way. And I leaned over and I said, Shandor Mining. Shandor was the name of the guy who designed and built the building in the first Ghostbusters. And my wife didn't even pick up on that because she's not looking for that, but that's just what I do. I'm always looking. So that wasn't too much of a surprise. But sure enough, Shandor is back. He actually makes an appearance in the movie, portrayed by J.K. Simmons. I am a massive fan of J.K. Simmons. My only complaint about this movie is he was criminally underused. He's only in the movie for like 20 seconds. And I'm just like, okay, why would you get... Anyway, I'm assuming it was he had a bigger role and then editing cuts took it down. Because to get somebody, I mean, he's an Oscar winner. He's got amazing screen presence, and he's on for the length of time that a fart takes to dissipate in the wind. Like, it's just, he's there and he's gone. So, I don't know what happened there, but, again, that's more just big thumbs up for J.K. Simmons. So, the kids, they, start to find out a little bit about, their, grandfather. The town thinks he was crazy and whatnot. Paul Rudd, adorable as always, portrays a school teacher who kind of falls for the mom. But the thing that really drove this movie for me was the performance of the kids. I mean, Finn Wolfhard, he's good. There's a kid who plays the character of... Oh, the name just left me. He plays Podcast. Kind of this secondary character. The moment he opens his mouth, I'm like, okay, I like this kid. Because he was great. But for me, the real star of the show is McKenna Grace. Who plays Phoebe, the youngest of the kids, the daughter. She is such a talent. There's a smaller movie she did a few years back called Gifted with Chris Evans. Just, if you get a chance, check out that movie. I don't know if I'm going to get to it as a review anytime soon, but check out Gifted. She plays like a genius, a prodigy, and Chris Evans is trying to raise her. It's a very, very sweet, very, very well-crafted movie, and she's wonderful in it. But for me, she really kind of steals the show in this one. And Jason Reitman, the director, son of Ivan Reitman, who directed the first Ghostbusters, for the first time since the first Ghostbusters, this felt like a true sequel to Ghostbusters. And I know there are, I will get to Ghostbusters 2, and some of the good and bad that was in Ghostbusters 2. But this is really on par with the first Ghostbusters. Not so much that it's the only sequel, but it's a worthy sequel. I think Jason Reitman, it's easy to call it an homage to like fan service to the original fans of Ghostbusters, but the reason why I felt this movie hit so well is because I think it was more of an homage for his father, Ivan Reitman. It was just so well done and so fun. The original Ghostbusters was so much fun, and it still holds up. And I'll get to that when I talk about the original Ghostbusters. But I think these two movies out of the four are the ones going forward that are going to have the most life, or afterlife. Puns. Anyway, um, Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters Afterlife, they're going to be connected as the Ghostbusters movies to watch going forward. In that the next generation, like this Ghostbusters was for this young generation, like the original was for us. And so, yeah, just a wonderful marriage of heart and action and comedy. I mean, you want to talk about action. It's in the trailers, so I mean, I'm not really giving anything away. But that scene when Phoebe's sent out on the gunner's chair out of Ecto 1, welcome back, love that car. And they're racing through the town and she's blasting the ghost. I mean, that was genuinely exciting. You've got the remote control car that has the trap on it. I was sitting there like, this is like action adventure. This is what Ghostbusters is supposed to be. Not kitschy, not like hilarious, but a nice blend of everything, which is why it hits so well. Obviously, the special effects, an improvement since 1985. I mean, that kind of goes without saying. But it's just the quality of movie is what really struck me in this one. So, I don't really want to go into too much of what makes this movie great, because I could literally talk for an hour about what I loved in this movie, and let's face it, you guys are going to tune out by then. But yeah, go see Ghostbusters Afterlife. If you haven't seen it, get it at home, like streaming service, buy it. Even if it comes on, I will be purchasing this movie. I own the original Ghostbusters. I will be buying this movie. It doesn't matter how many times I watch it. I'll want it on DVD. Even if it comes on a streaming service like Netflix or Crave or anything like that, I still want it on DVD because eventually I'm going to get rid of all my streaming services and I still want to be able to watch this movie. So Ghostbusters Afterlife, huge love. Now, let's look at the Ghostbusters franchise. 85, the Ghostbusters universe was given to us. And great movie, great fun. You look back on it now, could you pick holes in it? Yeah, but it was made in a time when it wasn't about perfection. It was about entertainment. And Ghostbusters still works today. My kids love the original Ghostbusters. Great performances. Before I go any further, the end of Ghostbusters Afterlife, my entire family, like, we were hanging on emotionally. And then the final confrontation happens, and I'm not going to spoil it for you, just know that it's good. And it just, in our hearts. And then, the movie ends, and all I'm going to say is 2 words come up on the screen, and my entire family, myself included, just lost it, sobbing. Wonderfully done, so brilliant. So anyway, the original Ghostbusters, great fun. I'm not really going to go into too much in it. If you didn't like the original Ghostbusters, you and I don't really have much to talk about, because how can you not like Ghostbusters? So, the original Ghostbusters is great. Now, the sequel came along, Ghostbusters 2, and I know what they were trying to do. But again, Ghostbusters 2 isn't a terrible movie. It's one of those movies that's cursed by a great part 1. If you take away the original Ghostbusters, and you just take the quality of Ghostbusters 2 and you say, this is our first Ghostbusters movie, it's okay. Like, it was pretty good. Probably wouldn't have merited a sequel, but there's a reason they didn't do Ghostbusters 3 at the time. They tried to make it a little too funny, and I will say this. I like Ghostbusters 2 more now, like later in life, than I did when it came out. I felt the same way about Men in Black 2. The first time I saw Men in Black 2, I wasn't a big fan, but I like it more now. I wouldn't say that Men in Black 2 or Ghostbusters 2 is a great movie, But if I'm sitting down channel surfing and I come across Ghostbusters 2, I will probably stop and watch it. Um, Decent performances. I mean, the whole Vigo painting and stuff like that. Peter McNichol was hilarious. Uh, but you know, the whole river slime. I like the idea. Sorry, I stumbled there. River slime. I like the idea that, you know, this negative energy has now manifested into something uh, tactile, and it's affecting the city. I like that, especially in like even today's world. I mean, I know Ghostbusters 2 isn't exactly new, but you can feel the negativity when you go out there. So that is a nice thing to touch on. That, you know, maybe negativity does actually impact us without even you know, us realizing it. The main problem I had with Ghostbusters 2 is the whole Statue of Liberty thing towards the end, because it was a little too rah. It was a little too kitschy. It was a little too. I Ghostbusters 2 was a little too. It was a little too kitschy. It was a little too funny. It was a little too patriotic. It didn't take itself seriously. Not that the original Ghostbusters did, but there was still enough meat to justify the cheese, you know, like the meat and cheese ratio in a sandwich. But Ghostbusters 2, again, it's okay, but it's tough. It is tough to watch a sequel and not compare it to the original. But if you just look at it for what it is, it's all right. Okay, so now we get to the Kristen Wiig Ghostbusters. Again, I think it was from 2016. So many things wrong with it. One of the things I'm going to touch on in a future video, hopefully soon, because I always talk about, oh, I'm going to get to this video, and then I never seem to get around to it. But one of the things that I'm going to be talking about is representation in movies, whether it be women, minorities, LGBTQ. There's a lot of work that needs to be done in Hollywood. And this Ghostbusters was coming in on the heels of the Me Too movement. And I'm not going to get political. I believe in equality. And I believe in representation. But it's got to be the right kind of representation. Again, I'm going to get into this more in depth. But I look back years ago, the Oscars got in trouble for not enough ethnic diversity in their nominations. And the next year, both Denzel Washington and Halle Berry won for Best Actor and Best Actress for Training Day and Monsters Ball. And that seemed to be Hollywood's way of appeasing black people. Like, okay, we know there's a problem. Everyone vote for the black guy or the black woman. That's not good. That is not good representation. And the Ghostbusters from 2016, that's what it felt like. It's like women are being criminally underrepresented, and they're being pushed aside and silenced. And then, you know what? Here's women Ghostbusters. And it's just, it can't work. Because the movie itself, it didn't know if it would, it couldn't make up its mind if it was a sequel, if it was a reboot, if it was a remake. It tried to be everything. But I think the biggest part, you've got 4 amazingly funny actresses. You've got Kristen Wiig, Kate McKinnon, who could make reading a takeout menu funny. You've got Leslie Jones and you've got Melissa McCarthy. All four of them are hilarious. And you put them together, it should be great. You put four of those talents into a movie, it should be great. The problem is, it's almost like they didn't have a script, because you can tell when you're watching it that it was just like, here's four funny women. You know what? Improv, and we'll take the funniest bits and we'll edit them together. The dialogue was, while it was funny, no direction whatsoever. It was just four women being funny. It was almost like the Ghostbusters. It wasn't even about ghosts anymore. It was just about cracking jokes. Then you add Chris Hemsworth. Nothing against Chris Hemsworth. I mean, he's a fine actor, but you make him this, like, unnecessarily stupid character just because he's officially eye candy. Now, if what you're doing, I can't remember who directed this movie, but if what you're doing is to show the hypocrisy of four main characters, like if you look at a movie that's male centric, four male characters, and then you've got the dumb woman who's there just to look pretty. If that's what you're going for on the flip side, then nicely done. Because now we have this good looking, stupid guy who's just there because he's good looking. If that is actually like a condemnation on Hollywood's past, then well done. But you've put that political statement inside a shitty movie. So your message isn't going to come across because people are going to be focusing on how bad the movie is. Obviously, not a fan. And I'm going to get into representation and whatnot because I'm going to be touching on a lot of the projects that are coming out or have come out regarding equal representation, because there are a lot of problems. So when you look at the four movies, Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters 2, Ghostbusters, I know there's like a subtitle. I can't remember what it is. I don't care enough to remember. It was that bad. But 2016 Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters Afterlife. Ghostbusters, amazing. Started it off great. Still holds up. Ghostbusters 2, a decided step down. Still funny. Still got some bits. The whole train when Egon, Winston, and oh my god, I've forgotten his name, Ray, when they're in the subway checking down the train. That's a funny scene. It's a good scene. Step down from the original, still watchable, all right, if there's nothing else on. Then you tank with the 2016 Ghostbusters, and then you hit it out of the park with Ghostbusters Afterlife. So I'm hoping this kicks off future sequels in the Afterlife storyline. I think there's more there, but you have to be careful not to make Ghostbusters 5 like Ghostbusters 2. You have to find somebody like Jason Reitman or somebody in a similar position who wants to preserve the integrity and quality of what's come before, and treat that movie like that movie needs to be treated. If you're just gonna do it just cause, don't bother. I think even kids are getting to the point where you can't just spoon feed them the same old. Kids today are more aware and more self-aware, and they know when they're being just placated. So if you're gonna do it well. They did with Ghostbusters Afterlife. So am I hoping they do another sequel? Only if they do it well. and they respect the history of the Ghostbusters franchise. Okay, so again, I'll be talking about the representation stuff going forward, but Ghostbusters Afterlife, the child stars, the adults were wonderful. They shot in a couple of specific references to the originals. Just all around, just a great time. I'm glad I was able to experience it with my kids. I don't know if my parents felt the same way when I watched the original Ghostbusters, but it was really a great family night. So yeah, if you get a chance, Ghostbusters Afterlife, wonderful movie. Thanks for stopping by. Again, feel free to share this video. The like and subscribe buttons are always there. Tell your friends. Come on by if you want to talk movies. Please keep the comments coming. Either reach out to me or just comment on the videos. This has been a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to keeping it going. And at the end of the day, movie studios out there, remember, PDPMO, please don't piss me off. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.